This shot, at least from what I'm seeing right now, looks absolutely fantastic, phenomenal, doesn't it? So cool. Okay, what we will be talking about today? Let me get a little bit of, this is not an ad, but I'm trying to do a juice cleanse today, so I need a little bit of boost. Well, welcome back to today's YouTube video, guys. My name is Elizabeth Sullivan. Hopefully you already know me. If not, nice to meet you. And we're doing a series right now of gestalt experiments. Gestalt is a method of psychotherapy, is a therapeutic method that comes from, has its roots in psychoanalysis, but its own completely different modality. And what is interesting is that on the vast sea and ocean of information on YouTube, there are no videos about gestalt therapy, and these experiments are very, very therapeutic and definitely will elevate your lifestyle. We already had the first video where I talked about the first experiment, but if you really want to do work on yourself, get better quality of life, then please go ahead and watch all of them and do all of them. Definitely comment down below how it is, because it will change your life. So the one we will be talking about today is number 2, the second experiment, which talks about the feeling of oppositions. Okay, so Gestalt therapy and Fritz Perls, the guy who invented this whole method, had a lot of took a little different pieces from various things, including Zen Buddhism, right? So you will see a lot of things that kind of go hand in hand with Zen Buddhism. So what this experiment talks in a few words is that everything in the world, everything in life strives to get to the balance, right? The big yin-yang concept, the concept of black and white. I hope you know the yin-yang. We're going to insert it right here. So, the concept of yin and yang, everything strives to find a balance. Anything in reality, the field always wants to balance itself out. And one thing does not exist without another, right? If we think about it, how do you know that something is black, or how do you know that something is white without knowing the opposite of it? How do you know that you love somebody if you don't know that what hate is? Or how do you know that this is a day if you don't know what night is, right? So one always comes out of another, and one does not exist without another. So this concept always tends to resolve itself. And same happens with the human being. All the processes that we have, they have the opposite force to it. Just like a plane, for a plane to take off, if you didn't know that, for a plane to take off and get off the ground, it has to go with a certain speed, but then for it to take off, the pilot has to push the brakes with the same amount of pressure. And if you were a plane, and if you were describing what is happening to you at that moment, you would basically say, I am feeling so much force pushing me forward, and equal force basically pulling me back, okay? So these two processes is what takes the plane off, or makes the plane actually fly. Same things happening to you as well. Or like in a bicycle, right? For you to ride a bicycle, one pedal is pushing while the other one is pulling back. And this is what creates the process. In life, in a human being life, in a human behavior, a process or a phenomenon cannot exist if it doesn't have an opposite. So first thing that I want you to do is to at least name 5 to 10 things that you know only because there is an opposite to them, right? Just like day and night. You know what day is because you know what night is, or you know what love is because you know what hate is. You know what life is because you know what death is, and so on and so forth. So go ahead and name 10 of them and try to be as creative with it as you can, because everything in life, all the processes, they have the opposition in order to give this life force, in order to have this this energy. So now when you have done that, we want to become aware of the point 0. So for example, if you took the pair, the future and the past, there is a point 0, which is now, right? If you took cold to hot, there is a point 0, which is neutral. And this is the point of observance that we want to achieve in daily life. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to take experiences in life, take urges or experiences, feelings, stuff like that, and combat it with an opposition of that. So some examples from that, right? I love my husband, right? So now I want you to go and live the feeling of hating your husband. Say, I hate your husband. I hate my husband. And live through that. Feel what experiences your body is generating in that moment. Feel how you're feeling. What is the actuality of this moment? Or, for example, do that with food. It actually helped me a lot with food as well. Saying, I love, chocolate. And then you go and battle with it with an opposition. I hate chocolate. It disgusts me. And I actually felt so much disgust pulling in my body, coming up in my body, in my throat, towards the same exact product, towards the same exact process that I was doing. Because if there is some kind of imbalance that gets you from the point of observing your life, right, just neutral observance, that means that it has an opposite force to it. Just like a plane, for this energy to generate itself, it has two of these forces battling itself to create the energy that you're feeling. Same thing, I was working with one of my clients and he asked me, what is this if I'm feeling so much nervousness to come up to talk to girls, right? It was a guy and we were talking about dating, about pickup, because I sometimes teach women pickup as well. So he asked me, he's like, I remember back in the days, it was so hard. I had so much nervousness pulling up in my body to go and talk to a woman. So we did this exercise, and what is the opposition for him for this nervousness, right? I am nervous to go and talk to this woman. I'm excited to go and talk to this woman. And you will be surprised because that part lives in you. That part exists in you. The question is that whether you're aware of this part or not, whether you legalize that part or not. So this exercise that we're doing is actually helping us live a more, or understand ourselves more, first of all, understand that there is more variety to what we're experiencing than to what we're used to, right? Oh, another amazing example. Another guy, he was very excited. He said his wife or his fiance was out on a trip and he was waiting for her and he was saying, I miss her so much. So we did the opposition and he was like, well, I don't want her to come. I don't want her to come back. And he texted me after he did this exercise. He was like, wow, there is a part of me, there is an actual part of me that does not want her back, that does not want her to come back because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay, fears, beliefs, etc., etc. But that part exists. Without that part, he would have not experienced this heightened feeling of missing somebody. So do that. This is an amazing thing. You will end up legalizing and seeing your life from such a wider perspective of reality. It is amazing. Okay, what else did I want to mention about this particular thing. So do that, try to do it, try to, switch and turn. There are no rules to that. There are no hard rules. I'm just asking you to see the opposition of it. I remember one day I was laying in my massage table, I was doing a massage, and the ceiling of a woman's house where I was doing my massage looked like a floor. And I started feeling how it would feel that I'm actually levitating right now and looking like this. I'm looking at the floor. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting what your body starts to, how it's perceiving life, how it's perceiving reality. What we're doing here is we're learning how to experience reality, actuality, away from some beliefs and frames that we were used to, that were taught as kids, as children, as adults, whatever it is. We're actually touching it and coming in contact with the real actuality, with what is actually happening. We're coming in this full contact to see what is there, as opposed to just, I'm used to that fact that floor is below me and ceiling is above me, and I don't even ask myself that. How is this process happening? What else? What else? Even as easy as, switching the letter B. The letter B, you switch it upside down, it becomes Q. You switch it left to right, it becomes D. So there are tons of ways that we can perceive reality. And if you want to really legalize your feeling and see where they're coming from, you will be surprised that actually they're not what you might think they are. So for example, a very neurotic behavior, this desire to love somebody and be loved, right? They're like, I am so full of love. I'm so full of goodness. I'm so full of happiness. It actually comes originally from the fear of being rejected. And this is where this heightened, again, feeling of love, and even feeling of love by itself comes from this opposition. I'm so afraid of being rejected that I'm actually feeling so much desire to love someone or be loved. The other great thing was an example, right? Because we all love examples. How long have we been talking about? 4 minutes, 13 minutes, that's fine. Is from a father to be and a mother to be, who are so excited to meet the child, right? The baby's coming, such a happy place to be in. But when we did this exercise, it actually came hand in hand with a fear of financial responsibilities and responsibilities in general. Your life is about to change. They didn't see that. They only were able to see the part where they were excited without seeing what is actually happening behind the curtains. This fear, this huge pile of all these energies that we're so terrified of what's about to happen. So we don't want that, because you don't know what this opposite side of yourself is doing to you, right? We don't want that. We want to make sure that we know exactly what is happening in our body, and that gives us a control of what's going on. Okay, what else? I think this is mainly what I wanted to mention today, because it is great. Oh, try to watch a movie, always say yes, right? This is a very, what is it called? Extreme version of this exercise, when we're basically just transferred everything from head to toe and started to seeing and perceiving reality from the very opposite way of what we used to. But check this out and try to see what can happen if you start questioning what is going on to you and with you, and what is the opposite feeling of that. Okay, my baby dolls, my baby doll guys, my baby, how would you call that? Thank you so much for staying with me during this video. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Go to my Instagram. I post daily things over there with the new hacks and tools and projects that I'm working on. So you'll get a daily dose of growth and pleasure tips and tricks on my Instagram. And I'm actually gonna wait. Go ahead and do that right now, okay? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Let's go. Then you'll forget. Are you doing it? Okay, great. Thank you for doing that. I will see you soon on this channel, and thank you for staying with me. I still am Elizabeth Sullivan, and I will see you soon.